good afternoon. This is just a family occasion here, a small in-house but very important event. We will sign with Ross Johnson, representing here Free Europe, Radio Liberty, and in the presence of the President and Rector of CEU, and in the presence of my esteemed colleagues, and in the presence of Vera and Donald, who are also now members of the family. This is an extension of our original agreement with Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, which will enhance our collections, which is, we discussed this so I can say this with confidence, it's a sign on the part of the radios. This is an appreciation, if I'm not too modest, of our work in the past 20 years, that now we can have access to almost everything that the radios has ever produced. And so this is a memorandum of understanding, and I was asked to read it, so I will read it. This memorandum of understanding summarizes the intent of the Open Society Archives at Central European University, now the Vera and Donald Blinken Open Society Archives at Central European University, and RFE RL, to pursue a project that benefits each of them. Together, OSA and RFE RL are herein defined as the parties. Now, in the mid-1990s, OSA became custodian of the RFE RL research archives, an integral part of the vast Cold War archives of RFE RL, and a unique source of information on the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, and also Western Europe under communism. OSA has managed major projects to preserve and describe the portion of these invaluable Cold War archives over which OSA had custody and made them available to scholars, journalists, and the interested public. The Hoover Institution Archives at Stanford University became the depository for the RFE RL Cold War corporate and broadcast archives that document RFE RL's role in providing uncensored information to the peoples of the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe. Several Central European archives hold copies of respective national RFE RL broadcast archives. RFE RL retains certain administrative records and retains copyright of all the materials in these archives. The parties intend to expand their mutually beneficial cooperation in order to reunite digitally when possible the divided RFE RL Cold War archives. In doing so, the parties will work closely with other archival repositories, including Hoover, to better preserve and make more widely available for research and educational purposes the totality of the archives. To this end, the parties intend to undertake the following initial projects. OSA will describe, according to international archival standards, copies of certain pre-1971 corporate records of the Free Europe Committee, obtained from Hoover with RFE RL approval, and place digital copies of these records online. OSA will, in cooperation with RFE RL, complete descriptions of digital copies of the preserved RFE RL Russian service recordings and associated metadata, covering the period 1953-1995, and obtained from RFE RL with Hoover approval, incorporate the metadata into a database searchable by users, and place the database and preserved recordings online. RFE RL will place in OSA custody certain pre-1971 administrative records documenting the work of remarkable individuals from the USSR and Eastern Europe that contributed to RFE RL effectiveness. Mindful of their legal and ethical obligations, OSA and RFE RL intend to make available for research at OSA only those administrative records that do not violate the privacy rights of individuals. November the 3rd, 2015.
May I?
Yes.
I'm pleased to be here along with Irina Lagunina, who directs the RFE Russian service, representing Anna Page, who regrets who can't be with us, but has sent a letter, which I'd like to read. November 3rd, 2015. John Shattuck, President and Rector, Central European University. Istvan Reb, Director, Open Society Archives. Dear President Shattuck and Director Reb, please accept my congratulations on the naming of the Vera and Donald Blinken Open Society Archives at Central European University, and my regrets that I cannot join you on this auspicious occasion. I've asked Ross Johnson to represent me. My RFE colleagues and I are grateful to the Open Society Archives for their custodianship over 2 decades of the RFE Research Archives, which are an unparalleled source of information on the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe under communism. The directors of the 5 leading German research institutes characterized these archives in 1993 in a letter to President Clinton as a, quote, unique international asset, unquote. We highly appreciate the dedicated and professional efforts that OSA staff have devoted to organizing, preserving, and making available for research on site and online these valuable historical materials. We are also pleased that the Vera and Donald Blinken Open Society Archives, in cooperation with the Hoover Institution, will now host copies of key RFE-RL corporate and broadcast records that document RFE-RL's role in providing uncensored information to the peoples of the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe and helping them regain their freedom. With my thanks and best regards, sincerely, Anna Page, Vice President, Executive Editor, and Acting CEO, RFE-RL, Inc. And if I could add my personal appreciation to all of the staff, to Istvan, to Gabriela, and to all of you from the Open Society Archive staff for your dedicated work in behalf of this valuable collection. And I'm very pleased that we're making some effort to reunite digitally what became an archipelago of the RFE archives around the Western world. It's particularly, my last word is particularly important in these times as media freedom declines overall around the world, near and far, that this legacy of free information be kept alive, that the lessons be drawn from that information, and that we never forget the importance of, as the UN Declaration of Human Rights puts it, the right of every people to free and uncensored information, regardless of national frontiers. So I thank you.
Thank you. So please, you have to sign. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And now,